This audio is presented to you by YaHshua The title, Faith of the Fault. Faith, a very powerful human reaction from believing to healing and having prayers answered. Some put their spiritual and their religious life totally in faith of others, and others their faith that those others are wrong. That's why we have so many different religions, and why some religions claiming to follow the teachings of a certain individual, yet have so many different denominations, and yet each pointing toward the other, saying they are wrong, but to themselves being true followers. So the question, faith of the truth or of the fault? Many follow their belief because of faith due to teachings of healings and answerings of prayers. Yet the Western religions say the Eastern religions are wrong. So how do Eastern religions stay in their faith? By having prayers answered and by being healed. Having a faith that their things are true. A belief system cannot stand if these things do not happen. So answered prayers and healings alone cannot prove the truth of a belief. Because of the diversity throughout the world and so many houses divided, yet so many people follow a faith that has come some truth, yet over all is false, and many stake their lives on it. Read Matthew 12:25, Matthew 23:23. Christians say they follow a book called the Bible, mainly the New Testament, and their faith is built upon the teaching of the leading individual of that book, the Christ, or better, the Messiah. Then there are those who look at the different denominations and see the hypocrisy, and then they say better to have no religion than be a hypocrite. Top that off, they all profess to know the Bible, or what it says, whether they have read it or not, if only by what others have said, whether in person or in the overwhelming many books that profess teachings about the one book, or the many programs on TV. Curious how money is always involved in all this. Those others have led people away by using just a certain amount of truth and a lot of fault, and the people have allowed them, causing a faith of the false. Read Matthew 24:4. A simple example, when the Creator spoke to Moses, he wrote down what was spoken from the very lips of our Creator. Example, you shall not steal. No one argues what was being said, and we have faith that it is the proper thing to do because that's the words that came from our Creator. Yet some Christians, they put their faith in the teachings that come from someone else's interpretation of the Scriptures, many times from the dreams and prophecies. Their teachers pick and choose the Scriptures to give to itching ears those things the congregation wished to hear, and so we have a faith of the fault. Please read Timothy 4:3. Even when things are shown clearly, for when Paul spoke that women should not be heard in the assembly, yet look at how many have risen to the pulpit contrary to what was said, should or should not be done. 1 Corinthians 14:34. The comment that the law was done away with, yet we still follow the 10 Commandments. Excuse me, I mean the last 6. Most people do not know the first 4 and don't want to. That being the case, then we have those who will teach that it has been done away with, and our faith will lead us into whatever our heart desires. Ignoring the very words from our Creator, the doctrine of the rapture for one example, using Scripture totally out of place. Please read Luke 16:17 and Matthew 5:18. This is the way of the world, Western and Eastern religions, a faith of the fault. I challenge you, wherever you are, read the book, don't take someone else's word on what it says. Listen to your Creator. His words is not for just the West or the East, but for the whole world. And the truth of our faith are in those words. Whether the Old Testament or the New, they go hand in hand, and His words are true. When you have faith, be sure it is in the truth, and the only way to do that is to read the words of our Father and His Son. They give us a book which is in every language around the world, with many translations, so we can find the truth, and in great quantity, so there would be no excuse for anyone not hearing His words and building a faith. Not on someone else's words, but on the Father's and His Son's, in truth, never in fault. Please read Psalms 25:5. Matthew 18:3, John 1:14, and John 4:23. The end. For this published article, please go to YaHshuaServant.com or email us at servant@YaHshuaServant.com, the title labeled Faith of the False.